Yo, what's up and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about pain. As I've said before, I work as a physical therapy tech in the Army, and I have seen a lot of patients with a lot of different types of injuries, but after a while, those injuries become less and less unique. The one thing that remains unique, however, is their pain. Everybody is different, and everybody experiences pain differently. Pain is a really personal thing, sometimes too personal. From what I've seen in my patients and what I've heard outside of the clinic, it almost becomes an identity. Hi, my name is John, and I have a back injury from 10 years ago that I still have pain from. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I have pain from an injury I had back in high school. Now, I'm not trying to invalidate or belittle your pain. If you have pain and you've had it for a long time, I feel for you. It sucks. But my goal for this video is to get you thinking differently about pain, knowing that it doesn't have to be something that you always deal with. Knowing about and understanding pain can go a long way towards recovery and eventually living a life without it. The first thing I want you to know is that pain and injuries are not exclusive. You can have one without the other. Also, they're not always equal. A very small injury can cause an immense amount of pain. Anyone who's stubbed their toe on something knows exactly what I'm talking about. On the flip side of that, how many of you have ever noticed a bruise without knowing where it came from? Or you noticed that you were bleeding but you don't remember cutting yourself? You experienced an injury but you don't remember it, or you didn't notice it because you didn't have pain to go along with it. Do you still have pain from that time you stubbed your toe 5 years ago? No, because your brain knows that it isn't a life-threatening injury and it's not something to worry about past, 5 or 10 minutes. But we've programmed our brains to think of things like back pain as lifelong problems, whether that's because of how we were raised or things that we've seen in movies and television. If you had a parent that had and complained about back pain while you were growing up, chances are you were raised thinking that back pain was this never-ending problem. So if you have back pain later in life, whether you realize it or not, your thoughts of back pain have already been influenced, and that'll affect your actual response to it. You can also have no injury at all but still have pain. Some people just wake up one day and have back pain. Other people have injured themselves, healed, but still had the pain after they healed. The way we think about pain can train our brains and our nervous systems to see pain in a different way. If you injure your back, your brain is going to send pain signals to your body saying, hey, don't do that, because it's trying to prevent you from re-injuring yourself. And that's fine and good, but what about when your back heals and you're no longer injured? Well, it's possible that you've spent so much time associating that movement with pain that your brain doesn't really shut that signal off. Now your body has no physical reason to actually feel pain, but bending over still hurts. Our brains are incredibly powerful. I mean, how else can a sugar pill placebo trick a body into thinking that there is no pain anymore? But the opposite can be true. We can condition and train our brains into thinking that there is a problem there that just doesn't exist anymore. Now, I've seen a lot of patients with the same injuries. Let's say someone who tore their ACL. The first one is motivated to get better. They have a positive attitude, they're not afraid of a little pain along the way, and they work hard towards their goals of recovery. That type of person almost always recovers quickly to a point where they have no pain anymore. But I've also had the type of patient who has the same injury, but they come in unmotivated to get better. They complain, they have a bad attitude about it all, they use their injury as an excuse not to do other things, and those people don't recover very well, and chances are they're going to be complaining of that pain for the rest of their lives. What we tell our brains about our pain is so very important. Let's take the example of a little kid who's running, playing, and then they fall. What's the first thing that usually happens? Chances are they're going to get up and they're going to look around for their parent, and they're going to look for the response that they should have because they don't know any better. They're going to look at their parent, and if their parent comes running and, oh my God, are you okay? Probably that kid is just going to start crying because that parent has told that kid that that is the response that they should be having right now. But if that parent tells that kid to get up and continue playing like nothing ever happened, chances are that's what they're going to do. Same injury, different way of thinking about that pain. Now, I realize that some of this is easier said than done, and not all pain is mental. Moving despite pain is still incredibly important. You have to stretch, you have to exercise. There are also other factors that affect your pain. Stress at work or at home, how much you enjoy your job, your sleep schedule, your diet, how you were raised. Different cultures actually think of pain in different ways and they handle it differently. To fully understand and improve your pain takes some self-reflection and the willingness to change things in your life that are doing more harm than good. There is no secret method, but just knowing that because you were injured doesn't mean that you have to have pain is immensely helpful. You did not receive a life sentence of pain, and there are things that you can do to move past it to a point where you don't have it anymore or it's not as bad. Knowing that the way you think about pain can improve your situation is an empowering tool. When an athlete hurts themselves, usually their first thought is, how can I get over this pain so I can get back to doing what I love to do. They see it as a temporary roadblock. Compare that to someone who injures themselves and thinks of it as a lifelong source of pain that they are never gonna get over. Years ago, when I first joined the Army, I started to experience severe back pain from overtraining, and it got to the point where I couldn't stand for more than 15 minutes without having to sit down and take a break. When this was happening to me, I got really discouraged and really depressed, and when I felt that way, I didn't experience any improvements because I thought it was gonna be something I had to deal with for the rest of my life. I had enough of that, and I started to educate myself on things that I could do, and I started to implement those things, and for the first time, I became hopeful that this wasn't something that I was gonna have to deal with. And when I started to become hopeful, that's when I started to see an improvement in my pain. Now, I hardly ever have back pain. The only time that my back hurts is when I'm carrying my team online. That was a joke. I'm trash. Don't listen to me. So start today. Make a decision to reframe the way you think about your pain. And if you like this video, consider subscribing and leaving a like. Stop by the stream to tell me what's up, and as always, I don't actually have like an outro saying, so I'll see you in the next video. Peace.